Sociedade Esportiva Palmeiras, or Palmeiras, meaning palm trees, were founded in 1914 in São Paulo, the largest city in Brazil by population. Palmeiras are among the most affluent and popular Brazilian football sides, and are ranked as the most successful, having won the Brasileiro, the Brazilian National League, 9 times. Their club colours are a distinctive green and white, spawning one of their nicknames, the Big Green. Palmeiras has 2 cross-city rivalries. The most relevant to this video is their rivalry with Corinthians in a battle called the Paulista Derby. The derby is important to Brazilian football and is one of the classic rivalries in world football. Palmeiras has played in 18 Copa Libertadores tournaments, more than any other club, yet they've only won once. While the early Copa Libertadores battles saw Palmeiras making the finals, it is the 1999 Cup which marks their most important contest to date. Palmeiras had a strong squad. Francisco Arce, the Paraguayan right back, appeared in the 1998 World Cup and went on to score in the 2002 World Cup for his national side. They also had Zinho, the winger and midfielder and 1994 Brazilian World Cup winner, as well as Alex, who scored 12 goals for the Brazilian national team and was voted in 1999 the 3rd best striker in the world. Coach Luis Felipe Scolari was in charge. Palmeiras were a determined team that year. Their first game in the group in the 1999 Copa Libertadores was against their Paulista Derby rivals, Corinthians, at home. The game was rowdy. Corinthians were down to 9 players by the end, with 2 red cards. A foul in the second half gave Palmeiras a spot kick, and they scored. The first game of the tournament went Palmeiras' way, but in the away group game, Corinthians were tougher. They defeated Palmeiras 2-1. Still, Palmeiras were second in the group and progressed to the round of 16. So did their crosstown rivals, group winners Corinthians. Palmeiras' opening match in knockout stages was against fellow Brazilians Vasco. With a draw in the home leg, the away leg would be a trial. Palmeiras went a goal behind just minutes into the game. They equalised, then scored again, giving the match and the tie to the Big Green. Next, the quarterfinals, where they would face Corinthians again. Always a threat. At home, in the first leg, Palmeiras won 2-0, but the away leg would be a much tougher ask. Corinthians' home ground had the electric atmosphere of a derby clash. Their home side were determined to progress, and they dominated the first half. Palmeiras couldn't get back into the game. They lost 2-0. With the aggregate score being level, a penalty shootout was required. Corinthians went first and scored. Palmeiras responded and scored. Now the pressure was on Corinthians. Vampeta stepped forward for Corinthians, facing down Palmeiras' keeper, Marcos. Vampeta struck the ball at goal, and Marcos saved it. A game-winning save. The final score was 4-2 in the shootout. Palmeiras dispatched their foes and ascended to the semi-finals. Here they faced Argentine giants, River Plate. This would be a hard game. The River squad had many great players, including their current manager, Marcelo Gallardo. In the first match, away in Buenos Aires, the reception from the Argentine side was defiant. River prevailed and were unlucky not to have scored more goals. Strike after strike came off the bar or went inches wide or over. But, despite losing, the final result gave Palmeiras hope. The loss was only 1-0. In the second leg at home in São Paulo, the Brazilian side came out blazing. A stunning strike from outside the box put Palmeiras ahead in the 16th minute. And moments later, a headed goal had them 2 up. When Alex scored again 3 minutes before the final whistle, Palmeiras went through to the finals with a 3-1 win on aggregate. Getting to this point had, for the Brazilian team, been arduous. Facing Palmeiras for the title of 1999 Copa Libertadores champions were Colombian squad Deportivo Cali. Here was Palmeiras' chance to win their first Copa Libertadores. The first leg was in Colombia. The crowd was ferocious, loud and taunting. Deportivo Cali, playing in green, took shot after shot. And finally, at the end of the first half, they scored. Cali supporters pelted Palmeiras players with debris as the Brazilians went to the dressing rooms at half-time. But in the second half, Palmeiras had no answer. They lost the game 1-0. Scolari, however, was not distressed. Palmeiras had lost to River Plate in the semi-finals by the same margin and come back. Yet they were behind. Could Palmeiras see another title slip from their grasp? The manager urged calm and insisted he would be prepared for Cali in the second game at home in São Paulo. But the home game was difficult. Cali were unyielding. Palmeiras tried to find a way through. The first half ended goalless. The Brazilians were half a game away from losing the title. Then, at the 65th minute, a handball from a Colombian player granted Palmeiras a penalty. They scored. Yet immediately afterward, a foul in the box handed a penalty to Deportivo Cali, and a goal. The game was level. But just 5 minutes after that, a beautiful cross put Palmeiras ahead again. The aggregate score? 2-2. High drama, as the game went to penalties. Would Palmeiras' shootout against Corinthians give them the experience under immense pressure to help them win the title? The Brazilians took the first penalty kick. Devastation. Compounded as the Colombians scored. Back and forth, both sides put their subsequent penalties away. Until the pressure unnerved Deportivo Cali and they missed. Now the teams were level again. Palmeiras scored the next. If the Colombians scored, the shootout would continue in sudden death mode. If not, Palmeiras would win. Cali player Zapata walked to the spot, took the kick, and missed. Palmeiras had won the 1999 Copa Libertadores, their first triumph in the tournament after years of trying. Glory, joy, euphoria. This was the high point of Palmeiras as a football club despite all their domestic title and state title successes. Their finest accomplishment. They had finally won South America's greatest championship, the Copa Libertadores.